Hi, this is Carrie Gerard, Executive Director of Jonathan's Path.
Hi, I'm Talia Wise Carver, the DCS Foster Parent Recruitment Manager with Harmony.
And we are talking about foster care, what it takes to become a foster parent, what is the process, because you may not know. It may sound difficult. It may sound like, oh, I'm just going to walk in and next day I'm going to have foster kids. Not the case, but let's talk about what that looks like. So when you say in your mind and in your heart, I want to become a foster parent, what do they need to do next?
The first thing would be to complete a foster parent inquiry. And you can do that. The Jonathan's Path website has a link to that, as well as you can go to Fostering TN and then click the big button that says Get Started, fosteringtn.org, sorry. And it will take you to that inquiry form. Once you complete that form, one of our inquiry coordinators will call you within 3 business days. They're usually pretty quick to call, about the same day or the day after, but in case it's busy. And then we're going to complete a little pre-screening with you. So those minimum requirements that we went over in the first video, they're going to go over those with you, make sure you meet all of those, as well as some of the more detailed requirements, and get into that.
And we're going to talk about those detailed requirements. So what would be maybe one of the first detailed questions they have on that phone call?
A lot of times we'll ask, have you ever had any prior experience with DCS?
Okay.
Ever been a foster parent before? Have you ever had any investigations, anything like that? Just to kind of check in, see where you are. We check criminal background history, so we're going to ask, is anything going to pop up on those background checks?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't automatically select someone out, but we like to know on the front end what to look for. And then checking in, do you have space in your home?
Right.
That is a big one. Do you have somewhere to actually have foster children?
And there is a requirement. The requirement is the child must have a bedroom, which is not a couch, which is not a living room. It must be a proper bedroom space. Is that right?
Yep.
And is there a minimum or maximum of children? I get that question a lot.
So the policy currently states that you can have 6 children in your home. The policy may be changing to 5, but it is still, and that doesn't select you out either.
Right.
If you have additional space in your home, we can do some assessments, and that could still be an option.
So I guess the goal is don't say no until you talk to someone. So after they fill out the form, you guys give them a call, you ask the more, I guess you could say, pointed questions about the requirements, and then what's next?
Then we will help you register for the TN Key classes and point you in that direction. You will start with the informational meeting, and I know you mentioned that. The informational meeting is just that first session. There's no commitment, and there's not commitment any point in this process if you decide it is not for you. But the informational meeting is going to give you all of that good information about what is being a foster parent, what are all the forms you're going to have to do, and everything in between.
And I'll tell you a true story about the informational meeting. So I went to my husband and I said, hey, I think that we should do this. And he was like, yes. And was like, well, let's go to an informational meeting. And we went to the informational meeting, and he comes out just jet, like, yes, we're doing this. And I come out more worried because I'm like, ooh, it just got real. And if you haven't seen the movie Instant Family, watch it, because those emotions are played out perfectly. And so if you do have a partner, it will be funny to watch how you maybe flip your emotions coming out of that meeting, because it really does give you a sneak peek into what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the informational meeting. No commitments are made at this point. What's next?
After that informational meeting, you're going to fill out some forms that'll be emailed to you, and they help you with doing the background checks and getting that process started. That way we start the home study process. But the home study process will get started after that. And you will start all of the training classes. So you're going to learn about trauma and resilience and discipline and everything in between that will help you become a successful foster parent, and then those CPR and the medication class as well.
And these aren't lectures. These are, you get in, you're doing the work, you're having conversations, you're working with other potential foster families, and you become like a unit, if you will. Yeah. So it is a lot of fun. And they have different nights. So you can do during the weeknights, you can do weekends. So it is pretty flexible to your schedule. It is in person, it is not virtual.
Well, it's actually both.
Woo!
So
Look
since
at that.
COVID, there is a virtual only class, so you could do completely virtual. And then there is also a blended course where part of the class is in person and half of the class is virtual.
Oh, well, that's new because that was not available to us
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yep,
It was
COVID
all done in,
changed it.
yeah. Well, that's wonderful because that certainly makes it a lot more flexible to people. After that's done, what's next?
So you're going to be working on your home study during your training, and they're going to be working concurrently with the home study writer. And so they're going to come out, they're going to look at your home, they're going to assess everything, and they're going to start writing that home study that I joke with everyone. It tells every step of your life from the moment you were born until the moment you're putting it on that paper, and make sure that we have everything and every bit of information.
And normally, I guess, you know, if you want a glimpse into what foster parenting is, it's kind of like having puppies. You just kind of keep rolling with it and not stop, even though they're having this whole playtime session.
They were having fun.
They were having fun.
Yeah.
So you go through the home study. It is how long is the process on average?
On average, 2 to 3 months for the home study.
Now that's just, okay, so,
And the training.
And
It
the training.
If you get your forms done at the beginning and you get all of those background checks done, we can start the home study process whenever the background checks are back.
okay.
So it kind of depends on how quickly the background checks are running.
Okay, so from the moment you call until, let's say, at the end of the process where you have to say, yes, I'm going to open my home and become a foster parent, or no, what is that time frame?
I'm gonna say 3 to 4 months. The
Okay.
training process is about a 2-month process, and then if you're doing your home study and getting those background checks done, getting everything completed in the same time frame, it's about 3 to 4 months.
Okay, so,
Everyone's is gonna be different.
and there are plenty of times during that process for you to raise your hand and say, this may not be for me right now. That's okay. You're not going to get dinged for that. You're not going to be welcomed back. And then during the process, if we're going to be honest, there may be times during the process that someone who's facilitating the meeting may come to you and say, let's talk about this. This may not be a good time for you right now.
Yeah.
And so it's an open dialogue, so don't be afraid of that. Is there anything else about the process that you want to highlight?
I was trying to think, do you feel like we've left anything?
No, I just have to laugh at having dogs. This puppy is just like having kids in the house because you just never know what to expect. I think outside of the process, outside of getting all the paperwork done, which is significant, I'm not gonna lie.
There is a lot.
There is a lot. So if you don't like paperwork, well, get a friend to help you. But at the end of it, the scariest part for me in the whole process was not the classes. It was not the phone calls or the meetings. It was getting the first phone call for a foster kid.
Really?
That was the moment, I mean, my heart was racing and my hands were shaking. And we'll talk about that on our next series. Thank you so much. Make sure you go to the website and sign up today.
Yeah.